gosh, we're here finally. I'm so sorry I'm late.
Oh my god. Don't apologize. You were just working.
I was working. If you want to know a secret, it's not really a secret, but I produced the show Las Culturistas. We were recording Las Culturistas. That took a hot minute to end.
As I was saying, if you want to blame someone for Deckheads running late tonight, blame Lorne Michaels.
Lorne Michaels, baby. Gotta love it.
Welcome to the show.
To Deckheads.
We're Chief Stews, and tonight we will be talking about Below Deck Sailing Yacht, the
BD.
Mare of Easttown finale, and Wahl Street, the Mark Wahlberg show that Anna watched on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm. And guess what? I watched Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I kept saying I wouldn't, but I'm weak.
You're not weak, you're strong.
Well, it came on right after RHONY, and then I was like, well, I'm watching it. I
What are
watched
you
like
gonna
5
do?
minutes, and then I was like,
Turn it
oh,
off?
I'm in. I'm in.
It's a good season. It's a good season.
Well, I saw Kyle with her like nose brace post surgery, and I was like, I'm not gonna watch this. Like, are you kidding me?
Every time she mentions Halloween, you have to drink.
Does she mention Halloween? I can't even remember. Oh, because it
Yeah,
happened
the
on
remake.
Halloween, right?
No, because she's in the movie Halloween. That's her most famous credit
Oh,
as a child actor.
I
And so
see.
she's in the Danny McBride directed reboot of the Halloween series.
Interesting. I've never seen Halloween, like at all, any of them.
What?
You know I don't like scary movies. I get scared.
Oh my god, it's the best.
I'm, how do you say, weak when it comes to scary films. I can't watch them. I run out of the room. I cover my eyes. I hyperventilate.
Wow.
I yell at the screen.
It's pretty low key for a horror movie compared to like what came after it. It might seem almost quaint now. You might be like, oh, this isn't as scary as I imagined it being.
Mm-hmm.
But also you might be like, oh, fuck this. Get me out of here.
That's most likely what it will be like. I'm scared.
Jack on cable TV says, dude, Halloween 78 is legit scary. It's great though. Yeah, it's
Guess who's never
true.
watching it
It's
then?
super scary. I was trying to trick you into watching it by saying maybe it's not that scary, but it's good. It holds up. It's scary. I was wearing actually this hat. It's not within reaching distance, but I have this hat from this company, Super Yaki.
Oh yeah, I love Super Yaki.
We were doing Night Call that says music by John Carpenter. And this girl came up to me today at the coffee shop and was like, dude, I love your hat. I told her where to get one. And she was like, I saw John Carpenter perform live once. It was like seeing a wizard.
Where was he performing?
He plays his music because he scores all his own films.
Right.
He's done some festivals. I also saw him perform his music and he was like a wizard. I was just like, that's the best description.
Is it like when John Williams does the Hollywood Bowl?
Yeah. But goth.
Yeah.
Louis Peitzman says the new one will almost certainly have Kyle Richards dying in it, so probably worth checking out for that thrill.
You're goddamn right. But maybe someone can clip it and send it to me so I don't have to watch the whole movie because I get scared. I'm weak. What are you drinking today?
Tonight, I went back to Trader Joe's. I got
my gosh.
Made a spin-off of my favorite new drink, the black tea with peach. Now they made a green tea with pineapple, also sparkling.
Wow.
Summer beverage. I'm going to try it right now on camera.
Please do.
How about you? What are you drinking?
I am drinking a Coke Zero.
Oh, it is beautiful.
Thank you. My stomach really hurts, so I chose not to go wild today. I didn't even put
respect.
What is it called? Whipped cream in it because I was like, not today. You're gonna shit yourself in this recording.
That's this show. We want you to be well.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to make yourself ill for the purposes of our audience. Our audience cares about you. They love you. They want you to feel good. They want your stomach to feel better.
Thank you. Thank you. I will tell you guys, I'm in a dark place today. That's why my lipstick is so dark and my shirt's a little dark
Is it because it's the day after a long weekend and it's like now you gotta go back to work?
No, I mean I work all weekend anyway. My life is lame as fuck.
I realized that as I said it out loud.
Work doesn't stop, you guys. iHeartRadio is driving me to death. Okay, I'm ready. Try it. Let me know. It looked good. I would love some green tea right now. Some iced green tea, baby.
Oh, it's good.
Oh, it is?
It's good because it doesn't have like too much pineapple in it. It's just like a little splashy splash of pineapple juice. And
go get some of this.
It's great. Refreshing.
It's just like tea, canned tea. I'm making a note to myself to go.
Yeah, it's just canned tea. It comes in like a 4-pack.
I live down the street from the new big Trader Joe's in the valley.
Yeah, you can go.
That the first Karen incident immediately happened at.
You can get some of these.
I gotta.
Down there. Happy birthday still again?
It's like, wait. A week and a half ago? A week and a half ago?
I forgot if we had an episode between since the last time when it was almost your birthday.
I think we did. You know what? Big. That birthday was huge for me. I turned 31, and that's about it. Huge.
Big time. Big news. You went to a park.
I went to a park. I mean, look at me. I'm a park bitch. I spent some time in some parks in my day. Specifically more COVID day. Because that's like what you do.
Because what you could do.
Yeah, I went to a barbecue this weekend. What am I, out of control?
Right?
Yes.
Now you have to decompress for like 50 hours.
Yeah, now I'm emotionally damaged because I went out and I'm like, who am I?
Speaking of emotionally damaged.
Yes.
We got to see the women's empowerment dinner.
I mean, what type of women's empowerment dinner is like, bitch, you will not sit next to me as I empower the women?
A consortium of girl bossery.
I mean, if they were like, future is female, but Bianca can suck a dick. Like, that was their vibe.
Yeah, it was such an amazing vibe.
Why did they invite Bianca if they clearly hate Bianca?
They're just jealous of her because she's the prettiest.
That's so true. Everyone, I wish I was the type of person who said things like that.
Me too. I think I just admire her confidence and obliviousness when people are like, you know what? If they don't like me, it's because they're jealous of me.
Yeah, it's that lack of self-awareness truly can take you places in life. And I wish I was on that ride.
Let's just see if we can become less self-aware every week.
That is truly the dream.
If you guys have any opening thoughts about Below Deck this week, let us know in the chat. If anyone's following along with the Danny and Jean-Luc story.
Danny had her baby.
Louis
Peitzman said Sydney's a sociopath. Yes, she literally basically says it when she's like, I will not change for anyone because, like, why would I? I'm me. And it's like, you're a monster.
She has a lot in common with the I'm the prettiest lady. She's just like got that just like white privilege that forms just a shield around her at all times where she's just like, you know what? Nothing that bad can happen to me.
But it also feels like her parents like raised her low-key to be that. Like they must have been like just telling her she's so great. Her whole life.
Yeah, well, she's just like a little princess. And, she grew up on a yacht. So I'm just like, hasn't she experienced more rejection in her life? She sucks. Who wouldn't reject her?
That's right. Zoe McPhee, she literally said all's fair in love and war to Allie when Allie was like, I broke up with him because I heard he had sex with you and I decided that was too far for me.
Louis Peitzman says, the fact that Allie was like, I will stay away from Gary out of respect for you. And Sydney was like, I will destroy you. Yeah. That was so funny because truly all is fair in love and war. If Allie stops hooking up with Gary and that means Gary starts hooking up with Sydney again because he's also dumb.
God.
That'll be hilarious.
I mean, is that not where it's going?
I mean,
I feel like that's where it's going, and what, Sydney's ass is gonna get like topless in the hot tub, and then Allie's gonna go full bogan.
I just like how they spent the whole season litigating that situation from the first charter, being like, okay, here, Gary's like, I would do it differently. I would wait and wait for Allie instead of just going for Sydney immediately. And then as soon as he's given the same setup again, where it's like, okay, wait and try to get the thing you actually want, or just like go for the thing that's right in front of you that's offering themselves to you.
Gary is, how do you say, full of fucking shit. What? Who is believing this I'm sorry to call him Leatherface, but who is trusting this little Leatherface fuck? He's
Right,
5'2".
Like off Moon 24 says, literally wait for 5 days. I don't even think it would take 5 days. I think if he waited 1 day and just Allie would just get drunk and be like, you know what, fuck it, I've lost my resolve. Let's make out again. But he couldn't wait 1 day because
no, he's like, I'm heartbroken, and to spite Allie for breaking my heart, I will fuck the reason she decided to break my heart. And you know what, Lewis? I'm gonna have to go look up his fucking apology.
You only Gary once. That's Gary's life philosophy, is whatever it is, just do it.
What could his apology possibly be?
Oh, I'm a fucking idiot. He's a fucking idiot.
Oh, Jesus. Tonight's episode of Below Deck Sailing is not one of my proudest moments. I must admit that what I was doing was wrong, and I realized it. Did you? No woman should ever be treated like that, and I'm glad we've worked through it. I'd like to apologize to he definitely tagged her, for my actions. She's probably like, go fuck yourself.
Does that mean that she is over it?
Also, I'm sorry if you're doing okay. He said, all I can say is that we learn from our mistakes, and I have firsthand. I know that it might not mean much, but it wasn't my intentions. What? You literally said it was your intentions. I also hope I have not embarrassed my mother. Fuck off. But he hashtagged, what were you thinking, Gary? Hashtag listen to Colin. Hashtag an engineer's words of wisdom. What are you? Who does hashtags in an apology? Idiot.
He does.
And then Colin commented, good on ya, bro. The fuck?
Good on ya, bro.
This is...
Colin at the time, though, was also like, Gary's a fucking idiot. Everybody saw what was happening and was like, A
lot of Gary apologists in the comments.
Wow.
Proud. Oh, yeah.
You can't stop him. He's going to do what he wants to do.
Gary's mom, proud of you, my boy. We all have made mistakes in our lives. It takes a man to admit his faults.
Okay, well, that explains it. His mom's like, Gaza, you can't do anything wrong in me eyes. I wasn't South African. South African. Giza, you're perfect.
Ugh,
Let's go on a little New Zealand.
Giza. Ugh.
Giza, come back to South Africa.
Gary, to me, is useless.
Gary sucks. All my friends would tell people not to fuck Gary. I mean, that's why it's on Allie a little bit for me, because I'm like, girl, you're the one who wants to fuck Gary.
Yeah, like, why are you falling in love with this dwarf?
Because they're in forced containment.
That's true.
They all get Stockholm Syndrome and fall in love with whoever else is on the boat.
Fuck Gary! That's what I would just be yelling. Well, you know what? He, if he comes back, he'll probably do this exact same thing.
Yeah, 100%.
I can't imagine he's gonna change. He's just replying to a public response to his bullshit.
He's like, please don't me too me.
Yeah.
Also, remember when Sydney like got me too'd because she tried to like molest him in his bed?
She is canceled in my mind because one, she says like really fucked up things in her ITMs. And yeah, she did that, which you shouldn't do. No, Louis Peisman, she has not apologized to my knowledge. I don't think she acknowledges that she's
And
on this show.
And they haven't done a Watch What Happens live in a minute. Is there supposed to be one tonight?
I don't know.
Sometimes they have they probably have the long weekend off.
After
but
RHONY. Well, RHONY
I swear
makes
to God,
more sense.
I saw that Allie was going to be on an episode.
They're not doing it for Below Deck because I assumed, and I've said this many times on the show, because JL and Sydney don't want to do it, and it's hard to get.
But they have had the other people, and I don't think it's that hard to get them.
I know. I just think people are busy, and like they haven't had. I don't think Sydney's been on once, and JL's been on only one time, and they just can't get anyone else back. But JL only went on at a time when we didn't even know Danny was pregnant. So
true.
Lord.
So Danny had her baby.
Danny had her baby. She didn't say how much he weighed to give us a little tip off of how big the baby is, so that we could do the math and figure out if it's JL's. Exactly, a 12-pound baby. See, like, she didn't reveal that information. I actually looked. I was like, did she say how much I weighed?
That's right.
That's too bad.
Did it come out real fucking tall?
If she was like, it was an incredibly difficult pregnancy, the baby was huge, I'd be like, cha-ching, we know the answer.
We don't know. What if it's all a fake out? Gotta know.
I really, you know what? If it's a fake out, I just hope she comes out one day and goes like, actually, it's this rando's baby. And we're all like,
yeah. Actually, I saved the sperm from my dead friend. And
oh, God. Wait, so if women can freeze their eggs, but can men freeze their sperm? I'm sorry if that's the dumbest question ever.
You can freeze an egg with a sperm in it.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, I don't know about sperm by itself, but I know that people fertilize eggs and then like freeze the fertilized eggs or something.
I see. Okay.
You can totally get sperm stored. I mean, it's a liquid. I assume it freezes.
People with testicular cancer do that. Okay. I see.
Can you make a popsicle out of it?
Ew. That is so grimy.
I mean, we're talking about freezing it. It's gonna be in a
Sure, you just like put it in one of those like frozen popsicle makers.
Yeah, the movie The Switch, I think, is based off of all this. Haha. Yeah, that seemed like a really weird setup for a movie because it was about somebody like switching in their own sperm.
Wait, what was that movie? Who was in that movie again?
Vince Vaughn and maybe Jennifer Aniston. Louis Peisman says it's the whole porn genre of the popsicle thing. Of course.
Oh, nasty.
Oh, it's Jason Bateman, the thinking man's Vince Vaughn.
Okay, so he like accidentally fucks up and then like jerks off himself. He like somehow fucks up the sperm and then decides to jerk off himself.
Is it on purpose? It seemed really ethically an ethically strange premise for a comedy.
There seems to be a lot of like Jennifer Aniston, Vince Vaughn, Jason Bateman, like questionable behavior movies.
Oh, he knocked over the cup of sperm. Okay. There's a really good documentary on HBO Max. Maybe I've mentioned it before. It's called Baby God, about a doctor in Louisiana who purposely knocked up all these women with his own sperm.
But doesn't Vince Vaughn also play a guy who like has like 100 kids because he just like donated so much?
Yeah, that was a different. Didn't realize there were this many sperm donor comedies.
And it's usually Vince Vaughn, Jason Bateman. Who else? Those are like the two, right?
Yeah, those are the guys.
Gerard Butler, maybe. Jennifer Aniston is somehow involved.
Maybe Kate Hudson's there.
Will Arnett, maybe.
McConaughey.
Yeah.
Tail end of the 2000s.
Yeah. Oh, well. Okay, well, let's, at the beginning of this episode, Glenn is still losing his shit because he's like, the crew's struggling because they're trying to get the food over to the beach picnic. I'm like, why does everyone continue to have these high expectations of beach picnics?
Yeah, what do you think's going to happen?
Nothing.
Beach picnic. You're going to not bring enough water or food.
Or rosé.
People are going to complain and then someone's going to sing a weird song.
Yeah, and then the guests are going to go around and compliment each other, even though they clearly hate each other. Um, and then they're going to have a dinner later on with assigned seatings. And they're like, let us do the assigned seating because we want, on the low, we're trying to like,
On the low, we all hate each other. Part of women's
Yeah.
empowerment is realizing that women don't have to empower each other.
Yeah, Erica, like, we actually are gonna like put Bianca at the end, but don't tell her, even though she'll totally see this, and then the friendship will blow up further.
Don't let her find out because she'll be like, it's because you're all jealous of me.
Yeah, and
Have
then
you guys ever been to a women's empowerment dinner where people wouldn't sit next to each other? Have you ever been to a dinner period where people refuse to sit next to each other?
have I been to? You know what? I don't. I mean, other than like my own family dinner,
Even then, is
where my
there like a
siblings are just
situation where it's
fighting
like,
the whole
oh,
time.
Uncle blah 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 can't sit next to Dad?
I would say within my direct family, yes, because me and all the siblings all like we all fight. And there's a lot of like everyone wants to sit next to my mom because my mom's like everyone loves my mom. No one wants to sit next to my dad. And then we all like low key don't want to sit next to each other. So it's like a really tough dinner usually. I will say I don't like sitting next to the brother closest to me in age, because he steals food off plates.
Oh, legit. I mean, that's a good reason. Yeah, I feel like these people having a women's empowerment dinner was just funny in and of itself because they all are terrible people.
Yeah, that was tough for they are assholes. And like and there was like another moment before the dinner where like all the women are like drunk from the beach picnic and they're just running around downstairs because the boat is like tipped while they're sailing, and they're like, you know, sliding down the hallway and like laughing hysterically, and Bianca's like, I am like trying to take a call and everyone is like yelling and like having fun. She just like is being so passive aggressive and like everyone's so loud. And then the other
so
woman,
funny to be like, I'm trying to take a call on this boat while we're being thrown around in the wind.
Yeah.
Doing business in the middle of the ocean. Like, what?
Yeah. And then she's like, is the boat always tipped over like this when you're sailing? And they're like, yes, bitch. Yes, it is.
That happens, not to defend these charter patrons, but that happens no matter who's on the boat. When the sailing tips it over, they're like, what's up with this? Are we just going to be all tipped over? And it's like, yes, bitch, it's a sailing yacht. Do you not know what sailing is?
No, they clearly don't. Yeah, Lutz Peisman, they're like, oh, like what the woman who was like drunk and yelling, and then Bianca was like, you guys are being really loud. She like goes to Danny and she's like, can you believe Bianca's like being this way? And then Danny just has to be like, can I get you a drink?
Yeah.
You just have to like smile and be neutral.
Would you like some? Would you just like some more appetizers? Yeah, I mean these are probably the craziest guests, definitely, of this season.
I just don't get, like, if I were like, I'm gonna have a yacht trip with all my girls, I would be like, and let's invite the one we all hate. It's like, just don't invite her.
Like, these people's lives are so boring. They get everything they want, so they have to create drama. And how do they create drama? By inviting that one bitch they don't really like that much.
I guess.
I think also, didn't you say that one of them had like future Real Housewife in their bio? Yes. Okay, Lewis Peisman says at the same time, Erica Rose's Instagram bio says future housewife. She brought someone she hated to create conflict on a TV show. It's actually pretty smart. Where are they all from?
She's charter from Texas.
Texas.
I mean, like, what is she trying to be on Real Housewives of Dallas?
You know what? Something? Fucking replace all the current Real Housewives of Dallas with this new crew of assholes and let Tiffany Moon beat them into the ground, because they're probably just as bad as the current Real Housewives of Dallas, now that I think about it for 1 second.
Yeah.
Should we
Future Real Housewife. But Where does she
What
live?
happened in the second half? I guess we talked about the Gary, Sydney, Allie love triangle. Does anyone have any thoughts about Gary, the stupid idiot,
Well,
Sydney, the
so
insane person?
yeah, well, so let's just finish up with these guests because I want to talk about their tip. But yeah, they have their whatever their women empowerment dinner. It's an hour late. We'll get to that. They're hating on each other. Bianca tries to leave before Sydney's performance, and then Erica's like, "I think like out of respect for the crew, you should stay home. I give her heart." And so Bianca's like, "I just like need a moment." I don't know, whatever the fuck, Bianca. But then yeah, Sydney comes out and like sings with Colin, which is like all right. I was like, I expected more out of Sydney. I don't know how many notes you can really hit. Um, I was like, this is no Beyonce, if you know what I mean.
Do you think her parents are like, you're a better singer than Beyonce?
I bet
You can do
she
anything
has
you want.
heard a Beyonce song and somehow compared herself to it in a way. I would not put it past her.
I'd like to hear you break down what the others must have been thinking at that dinner watching Gary and Sydney. I think literally everybody was just like, Gary's a fucking idiot.
Everyone's probably like, losers.
But it was so funny. It was classic because it was like he's learned nothing. He has been talking for weeks about how he fucked up. He picked the wrong immediate option instead of like he failed the marshmallow test. And then he just failed it again because he's just a dumb idiot. And he clearly doesn't have sex that much because any opportunity to have sex, he's like, fucking go for it, you know? Like I know Colin gets laid because Colin
has a girlfriend,
doesn't give off the load because Colin's not like so desperate to fucking get laid that he'd have sex with literally anyone, which makes it like less flattering.
Well, Colin seems like he has like a head on his shoulders. Versus
yeah, but Colin also doesn't put himself in situations that he like if he knows that he'll get like weird and flirty if he gets drunk in a hot tub with people and he feels guilty about it, he just like doesn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, like Sydney's gonna try to fuck Gary again, but Gary doesn't know what to do when a woman's trying to have sex with him except to be like, well, all right.
Well, yeah, I also think
in out for Gaza.
Sydney, it's more about winning over Allie than anything else.
Yeah, and like to be fair, sometimes when you do the right thing, especially in like a love triangle situation, you just fuck yourself over, you know? Like sometimes if you're the person that's like, I'm gonna like do the ethically right thing and like not break up anyone else's relationship or like, you know, hurt my friend's feelings because we like the same guy or whatever, it's like then your friend dates the guy and your feelings get hurt. Like in a perfect world, everybody would do the ethical thing, but like it's stupid also of Allie to trust Sydney for like even 5 seconds.
I agree.
You know?
The fact that Allie was like talking to Sydney, like I really didn't. Now that I understood, like
she was trying to squash it and be like, "Look, we're friends. We both like got played by Gary a little bit. Haha. Like now we can be friends." And then Sydney was like, "Yeah, I guess so. Like fuck you, bitch."
Well, yeah. Someone else pointed
now he's
out
single
in the chat earlier of like she was like, "Oh, that's so weird." Like I was wondering when you would hear about that, and it's like you've been screaming about the fact that you fucked Gary on the
She's been trying to get people, and also again, I thought everybody knew because they had left handprints on the wall, and like who does that when they're just making out? It was clearly her handprints.
She's just so fucking. She sucks, man. I'm sorry, but like.
She's such a good TV character though, because people that are just pure psychos like that, who just pursue pure ego gratification for themselves at every turn, that's why she and Gary are sort of well matched. Even though, like, they're both, I think, okay at their jobs too. Like, they're not fuck ups at work. They're just insane, horny people who are overcompensating for something.
Yeah, that sucks. They are good at their jobs. It's just, I wish Sydney was like, you know, crazy, but more likable.
Well,
She just makes me mad. Like I just want to
it
like
just reminds
punch
me
her.
of Melrose Place because the best character on Melrose Place is a crazy girl named Sydney who is likable, but is also like she like fucks all her sister's boyfriends. Um, it's just a good type to have on a soap opera. You want someone that's just going to create chaos.
And she does that because
And
she
she does that.
the way she's like, yeah, it does feel like kind of vindictive what I'm doing when I'm like flirting with Gary, and I know Allie's looking at me, but oh well. You're like, oh, okay. So
She's
you're
like, it's the
self-aware and don't give a fuck.
it's the women's empowerment in our part too.
Yeah, there you go. But those guests did leave. They left a 18,450K tip. That's good
pretty
money.
good, right?
That's good. Gary knew right
Better than
away
the
how much it
last.
was for each person.
Seems good. Way better than the last few charters, right?
Yeah, I think this is, I don't know if this has been the most, but it's up there. Which, look, Eric understood that they were bringing a little bit of hell. Maybe they tipped more because they're like, Bianca's such a dick. Like, we should tip more because they had to deal with her.
Tip more because it's COVID.
Yeah.
I personally think they should tip like way the fuck more because it's like you're taking an extra crazy risk to do this to serve us.
Yeah.
But that's not how these people's brains work at all, or they wouldn't be going on a sailing yacht during COVID.
Oh yeah, you're right. Zoe McPhee says probably edited because he pulled out his phone and checked. You're right. I wasn't paying too much attention. I just heard him say it and I was like, this lying bitch. Gary's good at math? I don't think so. I don't like Gary. I don't know if that was clear. Yeah, you know what? I'm glad Gary and Allie don't work out because I think Allie can do 20 times better than Gary.
Oh, I agree. And I think they were going to break up as soon as the season was over. So get yourself out now. And my only fear is that Allie's just going to go bogan on them rather than Allie being like, you know what? Fuck it. I made the right choice breaking up with this guy. Look at what a loser he is. He went back to this insane psychopath immediately. I think she might try to curb stomp Sydney. I think her bogan might come out.
I think that's a good plan because I would love to curb stomp Sydney.
I think Sydney should get curb stomped.
I think she needs to kind of be put in her place. Sorry. I don't usually encourage violence.
Allegedly.
Bitch,
curb stomp is like,
it's pretty dark.
She should get talked. She gotta get talking to.
Yeah, she should definitely be put in her place. I just like, she's an asshole.
Someone should flip a table on her, Housewives style.
Yeah.
Because that's like an okay amount of like, I could see Allie flipping a table. Teresa Giudice style.
Yeah, no, she's got that energy. I could feel it at the dinner. Allie was like getting up to that point. She was not happy.
No, she was fucking not happy at all. She gets crunk also.
She also, have you noticed she wears a lot of like kind of like biker babe imagery, like snakes. Like
well, that to me also is like Australian because I'm just like Mad Max.
Yeah, yes, she's got like Mad Max like aesthetics.
I always assume that that's the aesthetic of Australia because it's like dystopian.
Yeah.
Climate change a few years ahead of everywhere else, you know?
But even like, it's just like, it's like the type you would go into like a biker bar and she like dresses like the women, like the girlfriends of like the tough bikers. That's her
pretty
aesthetic.
Hot, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm like,
it's
who is this
I love
bogan
that look.
who doesn't need Gary because she's cool as fuck?
Right, that's the thing. You're like, you could find somebody on your own level of hotness.
Yeah.
Maybe who has a motorcycle.
Oh, hell yeah. McConnor talk. Long time no chat. Where you been? He said bogan is just Australian for Mad Max. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Yeah, so Sydney sucks. It's awkward between Gary and Allie now. Even though Gary told Allie that she broke his heart, and then Allie was like, I don't really care, which I thought was a great moment. She was like, okay,
Like, it's been like 2 weeks
that's your
of
problem.
kissing.
Yeah. I think you'll be okay, Gary.
You'll get over it like 1 hour later.
Oh, wow. McConnor Talk said he was late to the stream and also didn't watch last night's episode, RIP. You know what, McConnor Talk, you missed it. We all ran around and said something nice about each other, women's empowerment dinner style. And Jack of Jack on Cable TV said something very nice about you. And then I seconded it. So sorry that you missed our empowerment chat circle. Oh. Well,
the whole night will be empowered.
Yeah, I hope everyone continues to stay empowered during this. Let's talk about Natasha and Daisy real quick.
Yes. Daisy does what maybe a sane person does when they see the other people being crazy on the boat, which is to just sort of roll her eyes theatrically and walk away.
Yeah. She's a good neutralizer of like drama between the guests.
Yeah. And her just like when they show her just sort of rolling her eyes and walking away, it reminded me of Hannah a little bit. I was like, classic Chief Stew. She's a good enough Chief Stew that she knows when not to talk shit and when to just roll your eyes instead of reprimanding people.
Well, she's just good like when the guests are like, you bitch, you don't like me because I'm pretty. And like she's just like, and here is some bread for your breakfast. Yeah. Like she just keeps it moving. She like ignores like a full on like girl fight in front of her, and it's like
that's what you have to do in service, though.
I know,
you know,
it's surreal.
She's good at service because like that's what you do if you're like a waitress and just it's like people are really drunk. You just come over,
Molly,
pretend they're not.
Too fucking good though. It's unbelievable work in my opinion. Like I am so impressed how they're able to just be like, okay, and I can a Bloody Mary, you'd like a Bloody Mary, and like dodge a glass being thrown across the room.
And you say she's a dumb bitch. That's interesting. Would you like some more?
You know what? I don't even like you. Yes, you across the table. Fuck you. And she's like,
can I get you an espresso martini?
It's such good work. Wow.
She's like, these fake boobs didn't pay for themselves.
Mm-mm.
That's a good service paid for.
That's true. She's like, I gotta get these tips. Oh, good for her. But she's not happy with Natasha right now because Natasha's been fucking up, and Daisy's like, it makes me look bad. Because Natasha says she can't prep or cook while they're sailing, which delays like the crew and the guest dinner. But I'm like,
yeah, that was a real, like, I saw it from both perspectives. I know she's got to prep under whatever conditions, but also like I would cut my finger off if I had to chop vegetables on a sailing yacht while it's sailing.
Sure. But isn't that like the whole point? Like yacht chefs are specifically known for being able to cook on water or whatever.
That's like the one thing she should be good at. And I just get the sense that maybe she like fudged her resume a little bit, you know, not like to the extent that some other people have fudged it where they completely made shit up. Like I believe she went to a real cooking school. I think she just was probably like, I'll be fine, I'll learn on the job. And it's not a regular job. It's not a regular cooking job. I think she might be happier on land.
Oh, for sure. And yes, the the carbonara thing, I was like, okay, you literally you couldn't like boil pasta.
Not to defend Adam, but didn't he cook while sailing? Yes, he's clearly yes. And Louis Peitzman says she definitely does not seem to have sailing yacht experience specifically. Yeah, definitely. And again, I think it's so much easier for like a white guy like Adam to get in this type of industry than for anyone else. I think someone like Natasha has to be 5 times as good at everything, and that maybe that's why I find it a little charming that she's kind of a fuck up, because I relate to being like, I don't want to cook for these fucking assholes.
She literally just says, I'm so over it about everything. So I think she's just like doesn't have the patience necessarily for the job that she has.
Yeah, I think it's the sailing yacht. I think,
'Cause
but I don't. Yeah, I don't think she should like not be a chef. Like
no,
again, I
no, not
mean,
at all. I
yeah,
do
I
think it's
think,
interesting that Adam. Well, I mean, like Adam, I think was just a little better. I mean, I don't think he's a better chef, but like I think they're pretty comparable. I don't know, but he lives in a van, so I think he's just more used to kind of like more of a rugged experience, if you will, because it seems like his
yeah,
life is
because
like
yeah, because
being in a van.
the things you want on a yacht aren't the same things you want in a restaurant chef necessarily. Like it's more about being able to work in a small space with a limited number of ingredients than like
Yeah.
being able to cook something incredible. It's like,
Like I think Rachel could do it too. Because
yeah, Rachel
Rachel's
could
like
definitely do it.
fucking
Yeah,
batshit, you know, like she'd probably
right.
she's like, yeah, tilt the boat more.
Right.
You
And I
know,
think
she's
Natasha was coming into it like, oh, I'll have so much more freedom on a boat than I do in like a kitchen. But it's like, no, you also have your freedom curtailed in a number of ways,
yeah.
even though you're your own boss, technically. Like, you're not, like, there are people above you, including like the customers who
You
are
will
always right.
yes, and you will need to feed the crew by just boiling pasta while the boat is tilted.
Yeah. They never feed the crew. The chefs
No.
always are like, oops, I forgot to cook for anyone else except for the passengers.
There are I feel like few are good. Actually, Adam was really bad about feeding the crew
They
in the
were all
earlier
really bad. A
seasons.
lot of them are really bad about it. And I think it's because it's like their ego's not in feeding the crew.
Yeah.
And the type of people that become yacht chefs have huge egos. So it's like they don't get any kind of like, they don't care about the compliments they get for like cooking a big vat of pasta for the crew because they put all their real energy into cooking the food that they don't even eat for
Yeah.
the guests.
But you know what? Time management, baby. You don't need to feed the fucking crew a 5-star meal. You know what? Throw some fucking bread in the oven. Throw some garlic on it. Boom, garlic, butter, whatever, bread.
Liz
And then,
Peisman says it does seem like Glenn is fed up with Natasha and it takes a lot for him to be fed up. That is
look.
true.
You know what? Glenn is very interesting because like he doesn't get angry, but you can just like his anger comes out in weird ways where he's like, "Okay, everything's
Oh,
slowing
yeah.
down."
He's boiling under the surface. He's got a little bit of passive aggressive action too.
Yeah.
Different than your classic confrontational captain, but he's a little bit, he doesn't not have a dark side.
Yeah, like you know, Sandy would be in that fucking galley all day if Natasha was not delivering. Like Sandy would be
over Natasha's
sitting
shoulder,
on her
being
ass.
like, hey, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's me, Captain Sandy. I'm a Jane Lynch character, and I'm very
Oh my god,
annoying.
she is a Jane Lynch character.
She reminds me of Jane Lynch on Party Down.
Oh yeah, where's it like you should be committed.
Yeah. McConnell talk, Glenn to be featured on a future episode of Snapped. I mean,
Probably,
men don't take to the sea for no reason.
but it would
you
break
know,
my heart.
men take to the sea to get away.
Oh, Sandy Torque. Okay, that's right. The new season of Med trailer dropped, and one of the fucking new whatever stews. Also, new chief stew, not Bugsy. Not Bugsy.
Ooh, and the theme song in the other trailer I saw was Baby Got Boat.
Ugh, God, these idiots. They're really trying to like lean into Sandy thinking she's fucking cool. She's not. She's a fucking narc and an asshole. And she outs potential queer folk. I don't even remember. No, Malia didn't actually come out. No, she didn't. But Sandy tried to out her as queer.
Wait, really?
You don't remember that in a cameo? She's like, we all secretly think Malia's, you know.
No, I don't remember that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But also that would make me like Malia more if she
Sure,
were.
yeah. I mean, I don't even care about that. But it's still like
you
don't
dating,
do that.
I feel like
cameo.
her boyfriend would like make anyone reconsider dating heterosexual men.
Well, her and that guy are broken up. What was his name?
That's what I'm saying. Like if I wouldn't be surprised after that guy if she was like, you know what?
I could fuck a woman. Yeah, this guy fucking sucks.
Yeah.
No, unfortunately, Kuna Cobb, we can't skip this season because you know what we live for, which is to bring Sandy down.
That's right. Malia has a new boyfriend, according to Insta. All right. Then she still sucks. They really didn't listen to the fan feedback on Sandy or Malia. Do you think it's like you really think they thought we would be against Hannah, or do you think that they're just like people will tune in to watch these villains?
You know what?
People will tune in for these Brandy Glanvilles.
I did see that there are actually some black people on this new season, so that should be interesting to see them potentially be treated poorly by these white supremacists on boats. So
That I was like, I just feel like every Bravo show now,
they're
like,
doing that. They're
please,
actively doing that.
please don't do the same thing you've done to every new cast member that's a minority on every Bravo franchise so far.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, "Hello, black cast members working on this boat. Explain
Like,
to
could
these
you
shitty
explain
white people
privilege and racism
Yeah.
to the guests and also everyone on the crew.
Yeah, and Malia will be like, "I grew up with 5 brothers, so like I understand what it's like." You know,
Can
like,
we use this to segue into talking about RHOBH?
Sure. Should we actually hit really quickly on JL and Danny's interaction?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Basically, Danny says that she cares a lot about JL, but thinks that like he's gonna miss out on his 20s if they like get together. And he's like, "I'm willing to try it out and see where it goes." And then, what the fuck happened?
No, we got like no new information about that. Nothing happened.
I don't get it.
They kept having sex.
It seems like everything's going well between them. What is going on? She literally says, "Okay, JL," in her like mishmash of an accent from everywhere, and is like, "I'm moving to America. We're getting married and we're having babies." And he's like, his face is like, I can't even do his face.
He's like,
so
okay.
Stupid. He's like, "I've always wanted to have kids.
I'm told."
It's like, what? So anyway,
they're talking about, McConnell Talk says, "I'll never forgive them for ADRing the sound of pills rattling in a bottle when Hannah's pills were in a blister pack." That's so funny.
They really tried to make that shit happen.
Dirty. You're right.
They try to be like, "This pillhead smoking weed all day." You're like, okay. Also, honestly, it looked like the prescription was on the packet. Like the packet of I don't know, man. That situation.
I gotta get my plug. Keep going.
That situation was sketchy to me. Like, I felt like, you know, I don't fully believe it was CBD because I just did my research. I looked up the pen that she had, and they don't sell CBD versions of that pen, even though she's like, you can like totally fill it up by. Which I was like, okay, Hannah, I can't imagine you're like at some facility filling up your pens with CBD oil and not weed. And I swear to God, Malia's obsession with maritime law. This bitch, on that reunion, she went on about maritime. Like, I was like, nobody cares. You're on a reality show. No one gives a fuck about maritime law. I know you want to be like Sandy 2.0, but
I love when we talk about maritime law.
How are you going to like respect Sandy when she's out in a cameo trying to say you're like, you know, a lesbian or whatever? Like, how is there still a relationship there? Like, how do you trust a woman who's so comfortable outing people like that? Even if it's not necessarily an outing, but like just even what she did if you were in the closet, like how is that okay? And why would you ever respect someone who would do something like that? Like, I don't know.
She wants to be the captain next.
But
she's riding this train to the end.
I mean, yes, Malia might be a lesbian in the end, but like it's still like that whole relationship creeps me out. Do we think Captain Sandy's in love with Malia?
Ooh,
that's where I'm trying to get to. What is this relationship?
But I can't tell if it's that she's in love with Malia or that she sees herself in Malia. She's like a young, driven asshole who will do anything to get ahead, just like me, which is like how men advance in the workplace all the time. So, you know, it's a women's empowerment dinner of a sort
where they get together and fire Hannah.
Yeah, or they team up to girl boss Hannah.
Or they team up to bring one of the women down. Okay, McConaughey says Sandy was allegedly into Hannah at one point, so it could be the same with Malia. Whoa. What is this? I feel like someone has told me this before, that she liked Hannah. Is that the case?
I mean,
Can you
they
further
don't get into
explain?
it because it's taboo, but I'm sure the captains fuck crew sometimes too, right?
Well, we had Anastasia from, I believe, season 4 of Med. She was saying that she like dated her captain, and she just that's like always what happened with her, is that she would always date or end up with her captains.
Right. So
it's common. If the captain is young,
right. Even if they're not, it's like they might get a crush on a crew member and have to not exploit the power they have over those people.
Oh, so McConaughey says, rumor has it, after her first season, Sandy was like into Hannah, and Hannah declined, and that's why Sandy got increasingly hostile with her over the years.
I feel like that rumor's homophobic, says Louis Peitzman. I agree, but I do think Sandy's in love with Malia. Again, I think it's just that she sees herself in her, not even in necessarily the sexual way, but just in the like, you're a little bootlicker just like me.
That's interesting. Captain Sandy, I'm pretty sure she's had a girlfriend this whole time, or no? Did I make that up?
Yeah, but she could still be having an emotional affair with Malia.
That's true.
I do think maybe she, and I do, now that you're saying this, I'm like, ooh, I do think Sandy, it's like she doesn't just want to be the boss, she wants everyone to be like her best friend, which is like a fucked up thing for bosses to want. That's common. She's like, I'm just a pal, I'm just one of the gang, and it's like, no, you're not, you're their boss. They're gonna be weird around you. But I do think there was one of the things that was so fucked up about that season was it did feel like Sandy and Malia were sort of like getting off on teaming up to take down Hannah.
Yes.
Like the weird energy of them being like, like we're gonna like show her about maritime law. It was like there was something really sinister about the way it like brought them together to
they were like jerking off over a maritime law handbook.
They're very like horny to bring her down, which was weird because Hannah was sort of like minding her business.
Oh God. Well, I guess we'll see. One of the new crew members teaches Sandy to twerk, and I find that deeply disturbing.
That wasn't twerking.
Well, I mean, she can't. What is she gonna like? Put her feet up on a wall and get her hands on the ground like Sandy? Like she's gonna throw her back out.
Yeah.
I say that now as someone who's like leaned over and shaken my ass and been like, I can't walk for 2 weeks. I know what? That's Sandy. Well, I'm excited to see what goes. Oh, also the other thing, they're back in Croatia because that's the only place they can go.
The only place you can go that's letting people shoot.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So all new seasons are
still mad.
In Croatia.
You know what? It's really beautiful. I would go there twice.
I hope they're not all in the same ports like forever.
I don't care. It's funny if they're stuck there like Groundhog Day.
That's true. They can't go out yet though, right? They still can't go out. So it's just going to be like another like on the boat party. That's probably why it looked like Malia was hooking up with people on the boat. Isn't she the one that's like hooking up with someone and they keep like falling? That's what it looked like. I don't know. Well, all right. Should we talk about, what do you want to talk about next?
Why don't we talk about, let's talk about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and then we'll do a speed round on Mare and Wahl Street.
Wait,
speed rounds.
McConaughey says, did y'all already talk about the Lee, Glenn, Sandy captain specials?
I didn't even know about that.
I didn't know that existed. What is this? Just on Bravo?
Yeah, we'll watch it. We'll obviously watch that.
Yeah, please tell us more. I didn't see. Has there been ads for that? I haven't seen any ads for that. Is my algorithm not working to feed me the correct ads?
Do they not know based on information about
Oh,
me that
it's
I would
on-
like to see a captain special?
It's on YouTube. Okay, I'm writing that down. Captain Special. Okay.
Oh, it's a one-off Watch What Happens Live. Okay.
Oh. So, were they interacting with each other? Because I have a feeling Captain Glenn would not get along with Sandy.
It wasn't even an official Watch What Happens Live. All right. Somebody find us this bootleg ass
Yes.
Captain's
I need to see
Captain
this.
Supercut infomercial for Below Deck, a franchise we already watch. Shout out Steven Soderbergh. Please
Come on the show.
Please come on our show.
Stevie Sodes. Come on, man.
Stevie Sodes. What if a bunch of male strippers went on a yacht? Magic Mike 3. There you have it.
Wait. So Off Moon 24 says Sandy was like, well, if there was a good deckhand, they could have put a fender. And Glenn was like, we were going fast enough that the fender would have not worked. Oh my God, Sandy's a dick bag.
Sandy picking a
She's
fight
an
with
asshole.
Glenn.
Leave Glenn alone, dude. I will be. What's that guy's name who said leave Brittany alone? I'm about to be that guy about Glenn. Leave Glenn alone. He's been through enough.
She is a dick. She is a dick. And I understand why she's such an asshole in this industry that she's in. But also, she's just an asshole. In a chapter says Sandy looks for someone to blame that isn't her. True.
I will say
she's just so defensive. Like, she won't admit she ever does anything wrong.
Captain Lee is also an asshole, but he doesn't get it as hard as Sandy, but because she's a woman.
Definitely. And his gruffness is like more charming, and she has more of a stick up her ass in general.
Well, maybe she should have more fun sayings like drag my dick through a bunch of broken whiskey bottles.
That's would help if she were funny. If she were funny, it would go a long way.
Yeah. Lee doesn't micromanage, but Lee is so far removed that if you're like, I fell, I need help, he'd be like, if I have to babysit you walking, then why do I even have you here? And
yeah,
it's like,
but then he has a heart of gold because then he's like, Eddie's my son.
Oh,
he died
God.
from a pill overdose. Like, that was he's got a squishy interior, clearly.
Okay, so
Sandy, I don't know.
He has more levels because we understand his trauma and we've seen where he's from and his background, and like his wife Marianne has come on and he's just like a human being, a more rounded human being to us because he's like so open. Yeah, and like he reached out to Carl about what happened with his brother. So he's like he has this side to him, but when he's
looking for his son, he was like, "You are my son too, Carl."
Yeah, his relationship with Kay is also interesting, but like on the boat, he is like a no shits given captain.
Yes,
like,
and I can't.
He's not having
He doesn't try to be friends with the crew.
Yeah.
He sort of acts like he's above being friends with the crew, which is like a good way to be if you're a captain. He's not like, "Hey, who's partying? Let's twerk."
Ugh.
And he would never team up with a crew member to take down another crew member the way that Sandy did with Malia.
Oh.
You'd be like, that's unprofessional. He'd be like,
he did low-key, he would team up with Kate a little. He would always kind of take Kate's side over a lot of things.
Yeah. All right, maybe they're the same.
Well, no, they're not that much the same.
He softened so much after the first season, though, so he wanted to be a bit more likable.
Yeah, because Marianne was like, Lee, calm down. And he's like, Marianne, I can't help it. I gotta be a tough guy. They have to see me as a real captain, or they'll start to lose their what, I don't even know what I'm saying.
No, for sure.
They won't be as good as their jobs, and then I'll have to be babysitting them. And Marianne's like,
I think Sandy's a prisoner of I have to be seen as like, a captain, a captain figure at all times.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not her fault. It's a trap, but she still sucks.
Off Moon said DM'd us a link to Le Clip.
Nice.
Hey, I love when you guys slide in our DMs. It's like my favorite thing.
Especially while we're doing the show.
Oh,
it's like live interaction.
God.
Live
All right,
interaction.
we'll have to watch this.
Live and in person.
Wow,
The
this should be I am I know I don't love Sandy, but I am excited for a new season. Just to mix it up.
Keep it coming.
Okay, sorry. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Wow. What? You know what? Okay, first of all, Erica Jane. Let's start there. Are you buying this I didn't know shit?
No, not for a fucking second.
I'm not either.
Kidding me?
She's not that great of an actress. Care.
Literally, the money they stole from the orphans or whatever went to her glam team. The only reason Erica Jane exists is because Erica Girardi got all this money that her husband stole from like war orphans and shit. While building a reputation as like a selfless public defender who loves the underdog. True psycho-sociopath shit. I don't think she knew, like maybe she doesn't know the specifics, but it seems like at the very best it's like a Carmela Soprano.
Yeah, she's choosing not to engage.
Don't tell me what you're doing.
Yeah, but she knows damn well there's more money than there's supposed to be. Also, yes, her face now, the way she talks is like, I've said too much. Like everything about her is like, you are lying.
Yeah, she's a funny person. I mean, Roxy Hart is like a perfect part for her to play. I believe that's who she played on Broadway.
Right. Also, yeah, for someone who was on Broadway, I'm not buying it. Wait, she has late stage dementia now? What? I didn't even know
dinner tonight every night of lockdown. Does he have late stage dementia, or is that what his lawyers are saying?
I thought you said. I read she
testify.
Yeah, that's a good. I legit read she and thought Erica Jane had dementia. I was like, what?
That's what they said, like sense. About like Harvey Weinstein. They were like, oh, he's too frail from jail. He's under conservatorship. Okay, but who's got that conservatorship?
Brittany's dad.
Erica Jane.
Brittany's dad has it.
Erica. I mean, Erica is fascinating because she's like one of the only ones who's like a real rags to riches, I guess.
Right.
And I found her very likable. I find her just like every other season, I feel like she has a good arc, a likable arc, and then every other season in between she's the villain. And last season when they went to like Knockers or whatever, the like sports bar, titty bar that she had danced at in New Jersey, and she was like, it brings back memories.
Yeah.
I liked that. I didn't like when we found out her son is a police officer and she backs the blue, although perhaps not super surprising.
But remember, okay, so she says she's getting a divorce. Oh, this is in the news currently. Hasn't happened on the show yet. She says she's getting a divorce from her husband because he's having an affair. But there was like a news article that the woman that they accused of having an affair was like, no, don't slander me like this. I'm not having an affair. Like she's just saying that.
What has been her likable arc? What has been her independent storyline? Her likable arc was when it was her against Dorit, and Dorit was calling her like a slut for flashing her panties, and they had Pantygate. That was the time that I liked Erica Jane. But when she first came on, she was like a little more fun and campy and tacky, and like, yeah, had this sort of like, she married a rich man to get to this insane level of wealth from like nothing. But then it comes out that she is like, she's very conservative. She's weirdly prudish for somebody who has a song called How Many Fucks Do I Give? And like anyone who's been on Housewives, but especially Beverly Hills for too long, it's like at a certain point she was like, I'm drawing this boundary of like how far into my real life the show can go. And it's like not that far into my life.
I'm
gonna have a fake plot line about being Erica Jane and doing my stage show and like touring or whatever, but I'm not gonna like go into my marriage. We're not gonna go into my weird issues with my parents that she clearly has.
What about the whole thing where her truth's in a lie, where she's like, I was a mafia informant. Or what she say? I was something informant, FBI informant. And then she's like, I worked for the mafia. I've said too much. Like, what?
That's what's crazy though, is like she is like, I live on the wild side, but then when this stuff happens, she's gonna be like, nope.
She's like, no, I know nothing. I know nothing. I have never.
And she's always like, that's Erica Jane. This is Erica Girardi. And you're like, okay, well, like, why do you have to separate
because
your sexual self entirely into another character?
She's full of shit. I don't buy this Erica Jane bullshit. Like,
here's what I think. Allegedly, it's an open marriage.
Oh.
And so there were rumors that like he does have a girlfriend, but she knows about it.
Yes.
And she dates men also.
So it makes
sense. There was a rumor that she was having sex with a married music manager whose name I won't say, so we won't get sued. But there were some blind items that they lived next to each other and just started like banging recreationally. Maybe she thought it could help her pop career. Louis Peitzman says, I saw her in Chicago. She was good, even though she doesn't have the range vocally. That's the kind of musical theater performer I'd expect her to be.
Yeah.
She's good. She's better than somebody. For somebody with a vanity career, she can at least like hold your audience, hold your attention on a stage a little bit. Her and Luann should do a show together.
Oh.
You think they could handle each other?
No.
You think they could share the stage?
They'd be like the two people like pushing each other off stage, like, it's my turn. It's my
Well, that's
turn.
why they're like Chicago. Maybe they could just do stage Chicago in perpetuity. Lisa Rinna was in Chicago. I would love to know if anyone saw Lisa Rinna in the musical Chicago.
I will say Lisa Rinna is also a monster, but like has somehow like branded it. Yeah, like she's branded it so people like love her, but like when you really peel back all the layers, you're like, this is an asshole. Just like,
no, she's an asshole, but the reason people like her, first of all, she's married to Harry Hamlin, who seems like one of the better husbands in the entire franchise, all the franchises.
Well, he's like barely there. Like we don't see him.
She like will cop to being the villain, and I thought this was a great thing that happened this week or whatever, where they were like in the first episode, Lisa Rinna and Garcelle had lunch.
Yeah.
And Garcelle was like, hey, like I thought you were an asshole to Denise Richards, which she absolutely was. Like you were on a weird witch hunt for.
And then she was like, not even that close to her, and I'm like, what?
And Lisa Rinna was just like, look, I know I did this, I know I did that, I know I did this. I'm such a fucking asshole. Like I'm owning it. And then they were kind of like, okay. And then in the second episode, Garcelle was like, look, I just want you to know what you did was kind of an asshole move, just showing up to lunch and like not even letting me talk and just telling, trying to take accountability, but in this way that's entirely from your point of view. God bless Garcelle Beauvais. She had to explain twice in the first two episodes to the other housewives like what white privilege is and how they had it.
Well, I mean, Kyle has never even heard of this.
That was just like
Kyle has never heard of white, but she's like,
Kyle has never thought about it for a second. Kyle is like a liberal for sure.
She was like, black people have stereotypes attached to them?
She's like, what? You mean
have you heard of
me accusing you of not tipping well is
Waiter, have you heard of this
thing to do?
I was like,
and that Kyle is so dumb. She thought she would, she thinks she can only be the hero in every situation. Not that everyone's gonna side with Garcelle, obviously. Also Garcelle is so beautiful.
Garcelle,
that she makes the rest of them look like trash.
Garcelle is killing it.
But there's also another beautiful woman of color housewife that has just been added, who Anna has a personal relationship with. Why don't you tell the
Okay.
Deckheads audience about?
So it took me
Crystal.
a hot 10 minutes to fully understand that I knew this person. So Crystal Minkoff, they kept saying Lion King, and I'm like, why do I know this name? And then I was like, oh my God, I know Crystal and Rob Minkoff, because one of my earlier jobs in LA, about like 2012-ish, 2012, 2013, around there, what was that, like 9, almost 10 years ago?
Shh.
I'm 45. I'm really old. I was fresh out of college. I was working as a videographer for a handbag designer out of like Marina Del Rey or whatever the hell. And she just made like, she was like known for like making like really fancy leather diaper bags, basically. Like Angelina Jolie and Brad were her client. Like,
That's
so whatever.
So funny.
So she like and I was like her videographer because she like ran like kind of like a low-key like white savior nonprofit out of this kind of like low-income community charter school. And I just like worked for her as her videographer, photographer, just like helped around with I would literally just go like there were like days I would go to like downtown and like touch like Croco, and she'd be like, does it feel good? I'd be like, yeah, bitch, it feels like
Just
Croco.
like that she was gonna make a purse out of.
Yeah, or a wallet or whatever. And I'd just be like, yeah,
So
it feels
funny.
great. She'd be like, good. Tell him it's okay. And I'd be like, oh my God, okay.
I did a weird event with a purse designer once who said she had invented the flower crown, and then it turned out that her dad was the inventor of Bratz dolls.
Oh, cool. Flower crown. The Bratz dolls do wear flower crowns, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it was at a caviar restaurant, so my payment was eating free caviar.
Oh.
LA is weird.
Yeah, you do a lot of weird jobs in LA. So, yes, this woman was very white, very rich, and she was also like older, and she had long blonde hair with blonde extensions, like platinum blonde hair, and she was tan to a crisp. She lived on the beach in Marina Del Rey. Like the most LA person you can imagine. That was who I worked with. So she basically like whored me out to the Minkoffs to be the videographer / photographer for their baby shower for their first kid, which I think we see is like the son. And then like I had worked with him previously because Rob Minkoff would work with the nonprofit, and he would come and like talk to the students and like draw Lion King characters on this, the whiteboard. And we would like film him doing his talk, and we like edit it and put it on YouTube. I really got to find this stuff. It's all on YouTube. But yeah, so like I had worked with this family for a while, and then I went and I was the videographer for their baby shower. Their house, it was not the same house that they're in the show. Clearly they've upgraded. But this family, even back then, only talks about the Lion King. Like they are like, that is it. That is what they've done. Rob directed Lion King. That's all they got. It's all they talk about. Their whole fucking lives are the Lion King.
So
it's fucking
weird. It's so there is a type of person though who like made one movie that was super successful, and just like everything in their house is like memorabilia.
Yeah. No, the baby shower was not Lion King themed, but it wasn't too far from that.
Is it like a jungle?
Yeah, like I showed Molly a photo. I went back in my Instagram and found a photo from the shower, and it was like they had this like drawing, Rob drew it because he's an animator, of a tree, and like a bunch of like green and like different color shades of green stamps. So you would like put your thumb on the stamp and like put your thumb on the tree, so it'd be like a leaf. So they're creating like a friend's family tree for this baby shower.
Ooh, he directed The Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy. I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah, I think he did.
Because it was a bomb, but kind of want to watch it anyway.
Mr.
Curious.
Peabody and yeah, he did that. Stuart Little, like he's just like a weird
Little
Disney
made
guy.
a shitload of money though, right? Like
Yeah.
some of these movies, even if they aren't good, I'm sure like he's a successful children's animation director. Like,
yeah. No, he's
specific.
A strong Disney guy. Like they're working with Rob Minkoff here. But
yeah, I love Crystal. I think she's from the Valley, she said.
Yeah, she's from
like,
Northridge. But she also
Yeah.
has come a long way, because when I met her, she was an asshole. She was very dismissive of me. And I made like a baby shower video where like I was in this back room and I was like having people come in and like do their, like, it was supposed to be like a surprise to them, where it was like a video where like all their friends and family were like giving like advice to them for being new parents and stuff like that. But like Rob was like low-key directing it from the side, but it was supposed to be a surprise gift to them. It was so weird. It was just like the weirdest situation.
She might be an asshole, but she's a good, I guess what I mean is she's a good character addition.
Oh no, I think she
This
will be
crew.
fun because she's gonna keep coming for Sutton's dumbass.
Oh, I was just so glad she came for Sutton's dumbass. She didn't even come for her.
She's starting to
mentioned the idea of racism.
I will not. I am not doing this. I am not doing this.
Well, see, that's like when Sutton said that, it reminded me of that other bitch being like, "We don't talk about politics. Can we just not talk about it?" Which means like I'm a dummy. I really liked Sutton until she racistly self-immolated for no reason.
Yeah, that was weird. She just like fucking freaked out.
I think it's just like, that's, you know,
we're from the South.
She's from the South, y'all, and
like,
she's super rich. And
how is she so rich?
Not
Where's
a
her
nice
money
person. Didn't her husband leave her with like just a lot of money? I'm getting her mixed up with the new blonde housewife on Orange County, who's also like got left with all this money, but is a weird person who can't be friends with anyone. She's weirdly more liberal than most of the women on the show. Not that that makes her not racist. Well, that's the thing. It's like, that's the difference between your Dallas racist housewives and your Beverly Hills racist housewives, is I don't think any of them think of themselves as racist. In fact, I'm sure they all think of themselves as like very progressive. While they're being dumb, ignorant racists. Yeah. Tonight's RHONY, the mention of white privilege or even mention of race, and the racists freak out. Luann had a racist moment tonight too. Ooh, tell us about Luann's racist moment. We haven't watched it yet. Why am I shocked at the woman who did blackface on television?
Well, the thing where she's like, "Don't come into my house and tell me I'm not educated." It's like, shut the fuck up, Luann. You do not have a law degree, okay?
No, that was crazy.
And I saw also Ramona was like, "Stop yelling," and Ebony had to be like, "I'm not yelling," because they want to like.
Says she called Ebony an angry black woman, basically. See, that's what I'm thinking. Is like, these people are so racist, they don't even know that's a thing that they shouldn't be doing.
They don't know about racial stereotypes.
Purebred racism. They've just literally never thought about it, which is crazy because they are so old.
They're also so defensive in that way of like in RHONY last week, like when Luann was like telling Sonia that she had a small brain or whatever, and Ebony was like, "Here, let me break it down for you. I'm gonna tell you what you're doing." And Luann's like, "Tell me what I'm doing." And it's like, yes. And then she's like, "You're making her feel bad," even though we literally just learned that she like thinks that she doesn't matter and has very little self-worth. And you're basically telling her that.
I feel like Bravo maybe should have thought it through before throwing token women of color into nest of racist white women. Yes, obviously they should have. I do think they thought this would be like ratings gold. And I don't think they thought it through to the point that like this might fucking blow up a bunch of our shows, because you're going to out all of our protagonists as like ignorant racists and make them villainous in a way that can't be walked back ever again.
It's a real chef's kiss of poor choices.
I don't think that they knew what would happen, but it's like, it just is like appalling how everybody turns on them in all of these shows so far. It's like not one person will like put themselves out there to stick up for the person who's being piled on,
because they have no like
Leah is supposed to be the person who's like standing up for Ebony, but like clearly Leah is a dum-dum too.
Yeah, but Leah's like going through her own shit. She's like converting to Judaism. Her grandma's dying. She's got shit with her mom. Like, she has so much shit going on that she can't even fully comprehend what these women are doing to Ebony in front of her.
Yeah, Luann didn't like Ebony saying she was the most educated. It was pretty sick to watch. Yeah, it's big Tina Fey show energy. They're like, I'm a strong, powerful white woman. I can't possibly be the villain in this situation where I'm clearly being the villain.
Yeah. Like they
Girl
will
boss.
say shit like, my help is black, so I understand.
Or
And
like
you're like,
Sonya will say
oh
something
no.
that is like incredibly stupid, but at least absurd, such as like the diversity coordinator for her
Oh,
fish or whatever, where
and
you're
the,
like,
yeah.
I
And the
also
poor are
maybe
getting
maybe
poorer
she'll
and the
prove me
homeless are
wrong and
getting
I'll regret
homelesser.
saying this, but I do feel like Sonya, even if she doesn't understand what you're saying, is like more likely to apologize for fucking up than Luann or Ramona. I feel like Luann will just be defensive forever, and Ramona is just like, I'm an asshole. I'm a fucking racist dickbag.
I don't think Ramona's ever. I mean, Ramona's just trash. She's racist trash, in my
Andy thinks it's
opinion.
good they're having these conversations, but at what cost? Andy is a fucking dick too, because especially in the Dallas reunion, he threw Tiffany Moon under the bus so hard, and it was really fucking disturbing to watch because as the moderator, it was his job to step in when they were all piling on Tiffany and be like, hey, what about like, let me explain this from a vaguely real point of view about like why this is, like he just kept being like, yeah, Tiffany, like, why did you do that? Instead of being like, don't you think, like, he didn't, he capes for some of the worst people. And
He just there's no
there's no accountability.
He's not here to have accountability. He's like here to just like make good TV. Like he doesn't even. I don't think he cares.
But it's not even good TV. It's like it stops being entertaining. Even people who watch Bravo are like, I mean, it's interesting because it's like people will be like, oh, well, like the standalone Black housewife franchises like Potomac and Atlanta are like two of the best by far. And the rest of the franchises are like super white, or when they try to be integrated, they inevitably confront the fact that like rich people are super racist.
Yeah.
What's really crazy is they've been editing around how racist these people are for like a billion years, mostly by just like a mission of like, well, nobody they know is not also a rich white person.
Well, I don't think they don't have like one the language or the tools to even remotely understand, and then they're also so defensive you can't even offer them the tools to like be like, here's what you're doing and why
They just start crying
off.
And they're like, I'm the victim.
Yeah. They make it about how you're coming at me even though I open my door as my beautiful home to you. Like,
conflict
look how nice
is not
this
abuse.
is.
Sutton.
Okay, McConnor Talk says, I don't care if I have blinders on, but I always think Sonya's kind of dumb. That's interesting because Sonya wasn't always like this on New York Housewives. Like, she has evolved as a character. Like, do you remember when she first came on? When did she come on?
Yeah, she's got real like
3?
Lucille Ball energy. I think it's like a lot of her things end with a pratfall, and that's just sort of
But
like
she
winning.
wasn't always like that. Remember when she first came on, she was like
Sonya's
almost
brain
the
is
voice of
melting,
reason.
and it's really sad. I mean, I think what makes these shows have pathos is that a lot of them, especially in New York, is about women like trying to get back to this status they had briefly when they were married to super rich, powerful men. And instead, they just have each other and they're not happy about it. They're not like, yay, Golden Girls, like girls helping, we'll be each other's family, like Sex in the City, ideal style. No, they're like, fuck you. I want a boyfriend. I'm trying to get the fuck out of this group of friends. Like,
I do think RHONY somewhat killed Sonya in a way. Because I remember when she first came on, she was like actually like a voice of, I forget who was fighting at the time, but she was like the voice of reason. She was. I remember her being
no, you're right. But
she was like talking to people and like being like, I don't think you guys should fight over, or like she was like helping. I don't remember who it was. It's been a while.
She was a friend of.
Yeah, she came on as a friend of,
socialite.
And then she was like kind of like figuring it out, and then it just like she just went like full Sonya. Like it just went so hard after a while, which I love Sonia Morgan. It's hard for me to dislike her. Like every time.
No, and there's nothing funnier to me than somebody who thinks they're being really classy, but is like actually very trashy, you know? Like when people are like, I'm living the epitome of like the classy, fancy New York life, but she's like throwing up in gutters all the time.
Yeah, Sonia's she was like a waitress who met this like rich banker, you know, from like a family.
I mean, I think a lot
like,
of them just like won the lottery as trophy wives and then they got traded in because they were trophy wives and they've like never gotten over it.
Yeah.
And you would think that being on Real Housewives, which is like provides them with a kind of fame that being a socialite wouldn't. But I guess it's just like she just remembers when she was like at San Tropez every summer or whatever, and she's always like, any second now, we'll be going back. Like, she's like Grey Gardens, you know?
Yes, they all are kind of turning into Grey Gardens in a way.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, we'll be back to like, you know, our fancy lifestyles any moment now, as soon as we find like the rich man who loves us. And it's like, just date somebody who's maybe not rich, but is nice to you and makes you happy. But like none of them will do that.
How much do they make on this show?
Like Sonia is at least always like getting laid, it seems like.
Yeah, I heard she fucks a lot. Who said that?
She seems like she fucks a lot and she's hot. They're all like, her and Luann are both hot in real life.
Garth looks like all of other Luann's boyfriends.
Garth is gross.
They all of Luann's boyfriends, like the like workout guy, the trainers, all look the same.
She looks like a guy who looks like a Nazi from Indiana Jones.
Because he has that hair.
He's Austrian.
He's Austrian? Is that what he was? I thought he was German. No, maybe he is Austrian.
He's Austrian. She's like, oh, he looks like an Aryan Superman. It's like, ew.
Why is that something you'd be into?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like if they don't stop drinking, it will just keep getting more sad because like clearly they all have drinking problems and Ramona just is like a high functioning psycho.
Oh wow, look, Lewis wrote something that said Aryan in it and I have to approve it.
Yeah, it's like bogan.
Wow.
The word will be racist against white people. Sorry, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
As Crystal had to explain to Sutton.
Fascinating.
You can't be racist against white people.
You can't say
even calling them white trash does nothing to them. It's fine to call people white trash.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
I don't think not a racial slur.
You can't be racist towards white people.
Yeah, nobody is being racist against Sutton. Yeah, and I feel like it's like on some level they're conscious that they have no cultural identity. People like Sutton.
Yeah.
But she still has found a way to make herself the victim. It's like, oh, well, I'm like lesser than because I don't have something to be oppressed about, you're saying. So I'll like make something up.
Interrupting someone who's like talking about their experience with race and be like, I'm not doing this. It's like, what? Doing what? Listening to a person talk about their experience?
Connor Talk says, remember how Lou said at the beginning of the season she blacked out multiple times over the summer? It's getting dark in the Big Apple.
She said she thinks she's allergic to alcohol. I was like, no, it sounds like you're just blacking out.
It's so dark, and that is why it's like still very watchable, but also I feel sort of complicit in consuming these people's fucked up lives as entertainment because they are clearly like sick. I think I wonder how much longer that can sustain itself.
I think Sun was drunk when she did that, but still, like, what a weird outburst. I guess not that weird.
Oh my God, Lake Tahoe. I love when they were all talking about Lake Tahoe.
I've gone to Lake Tahoe so many times in my life that I'm like, what?
Wait, really? You have?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in Northern California.
You know how some of them were like, I've been to Lake Tahoe a million times. And then a couple of them were like, I've never been to Lake Tahoe in my life.
Well, I'm from Northern California, so that was like our vacation camping
like, oh, I've never been to Lake Tahoe. I love when they go to a lake.
You should go to Lake Tahoe. I think you would really enjoy it.
Connor Talk says, that's how I felt about Kim Richards, who I still love dearly as a housewife. I agree. Kim Richards, Dory saying it gives her a Lugano, Switzerland vibe. Yes, of course.
Dory.
Kim Richards was somebody who needed to not be on the show. But again, it's like
Kim Richards
Richards might still be fucked up, not on the show. I don't know that getting off the show, especially at this point, would fix anything for Luann or Sonia, I think then they would just be still alcoholics and like sad about losing their platform.
I don't think Kim should be on the show ever. I don't even think she should be a friend of.
No, but you know who should be on the show?
Kathy?
Fucking Kathy Hilton.
Kathy is you know what? I didn't like her in the Nikki documentary, but when not Nikki, what was it? Paris? That's the other sister. Wow, that was stupid. In the Paris doc on YouTube where she's like, I was abused at these like facilities you sent me to. And Kathy's like, what? Like, I was like, wow, Kathy, do you even pay attention to your own kids?
Kathy has like Valium brain, it feels like. She seems like she's got real...
Her 3 truths?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, wait, no, that's all true. And she brought a fan?
Someone said she seems like just like alien skins, like an alien with human skin stretched over it.
She brought a fan. She started
talking about she loved to play dentist. And they were like,
oh my God. The fact that her parents didn't have lawsuits for doing like dentistry work on the neighborhood kids.
I'm mad at all the years we didn't have Kathy on the show. I will say Paris Hilton, also a racist asshole.
Trump, baby.
But her mom's Kathy, right?
Yeah, that's her mom.
I was just like, wow. Imagine if that was your mom. Like, of course you'd be fucked up.
And your like aunt is Kyle. Your aunts are Kyle and Kim Richards. Like
right,
in and out of
just
your
like
life,
everyone who's like, it's such a glamorous lifestyle. And it's like there's so much fucking darkness, like just under the surface. And all of the money in the world can't hide how fucked up things are in this family.
Unbelievable. But I will say I do love her so far on the show.
I love her too. Kathy doesn't even know who anyone is. I'm not sure she can be racist. She
thought Garcelle was Kyle?
She
put some glasses on, honey.
That was so funny when she thought Garcelle was Kyle and she like got up all close to her and was like, Kyle, my sister. And then she was like,
she's fully out.
I am not wearing glasses. But then she tried to spin it as like, I don't see color. Like, I just like.
No, she clearly like, it's not even like a philosophy of like a philosophical I don't see color. It's like just straight up like, oh no, I don't see color. No, like I don't know what's going on.
I can't see in front of myself. Like a Mr. It was like Mr. Magoo vibes.
Yes, she is. That's exactly who Kathy is. Kathy is the female Mr. Magoo. They gotta keep an eye on her.
Like Catherine O'Hara character vibes.
Yeah, also. She was like, I brought this fan, it won't turn on. And Kyle's is like, well, you have to plug it in. Also, why did she bring a fan?
Because she needs the white noise.
I know,
but say that?
You're on a TV show. Like, there's no fan at that place. You have to bring your own.
Weirdo. They're all weirdos.
Ugh. Anyway, she's great. I love her on the show.
She has the most money, but is the most subtle with her wealth so far. You know what? Money can't buy you class.
That's true. Is she still married to Paris's father?
To Rick?
Is that his name?
I think so. I think there's more fucked up stuff about the Hilton family. I'll learn.
Yeah.
And have it ready for next week.
Please do. Should we end this show talking about Wahl Street, the new Mark Wahlberg show on HBO Max?
Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about the Mare of Easttown finale. I thought it was a fun time, was had by all.
Yeah, I mean, good ending. Overall, great show. It did a lot for the culture, in my opinion. Just like the aesthetics, the mayor of it all, the Kate Winslet coming back strong with a beautiful performance.
There's so much fucking TV, and the thing that people actually like is like a BBC murder mystery set in rural Pennsylvania, starring an actress people like and a bunch of good theater actors.
That's right. It was very what we said last week: Broadchurch, Happy Valley, Marcella energy.
Yeah, just like a solid cast, some solid acting, some semi-solid accents, and a lot of meme potential.
Let's go,
Let's go,
That's the only one I
got. Tell us about Wahl Street, please. WAHL.
Yeah, like WHL Street, Mark Wahlberg. So Mark Wahlberg decided, look, it's probably one of the greatest TV shows I've ever seen, yet the TV show I truly believe should have never been made. Only
Literally
because
every night I mouse over it and try to talk my boyfriend into watching it. And I'm like, what about Wall Street?
it's
like,
it
no.
is the show.
And then he's like, why don't we just watch Entourage from the beginning? And I'm like,
I mean,
absolutely not.
I'll tell you right now, it's like it's real Entourage, but so much less interesting. So the entire show, I'll give you a bit of a rundown. I've only watched a few episodes. Mark Wahlberg is like, film me being basically a businessman and like the busiest guy alive. He's like, I have a clothing brand. I have Wahlburgers. I have my movie and acting career, whatever. My voiceover.
I'm a one-man Shark Tank.
Yeah, he's like, I've got these gyms I'm into. I don't know. He has like a whole grid he shows you of like all his different like things he's up to. And then he just like proceeds to show you that he's a terrible businessman. That it's like not working. That he is just not going well. And you're like, why?
He seems like he's from the Ashton Kutcher school of businessman, where it's like, yeah, people are going to give you a lot of money because you're like a famous person.
Oh my god!
But whether you have the ability to like make any businesses, like why would you like the gyms? I guess at least makes sense, but like why would you have a burger chain?
They literally have meetings they film of the Wahlburgers, people in like London being like, first of all, we don't have enough staff. The meat is dry. Like, it's not working. We have a lot of issues. And Mark Wahlberg's sitting there like, sounds like we got a lot of issues. And
Does
it's like,
Randall Emmett of VPR fame make a cameo on the Wahlberg show?
Is that his manager?
No, he's the turtle. I think he's the real life turtle. He's on Vanderpump Rules and he's married to Lala now and they just had a baby.
Oh, Rand.
Rand. You know Rand. My man Rand. Don't fuck with my man. I'm Lala. Don't fuck with my man Rand.
I don't think he does. I haven't seen him yet. He might, and I just didn't recognize him.
I mean, if there's anything sadder than the original Pussy Posse, it's the Mark Wahlberg Pussy Posse.
I don't know if he does.
It's like a lesser PP.
There's definitely, so he still has like the 2 or 3 guys from the Funky Bunch hanging out with him. So they're there.
Nice, right?
But they are all like,
he kept his old racist Boston buddies around.
Well, they're like just a bunch of black guys, so they're just hanging out, like doing their, but they all do everything together. Like they work out at 2 a.m. together. They like go to his business meetings. Like they like just hang out all the time on the show. Like they're always on the show. I don't even like think twice anymore. I'm like, yeah, those
Do you
are the
think
guys.
that's him trying to rebrand himself as not racist? Because people sometimes remember that he took an eye out from a Asian store clerk in Boston.
Maybe. It's a possibility, but
I think
like
he finally like acknowledged that it happened in the first place, which he had never done, and then like apologized for being a dumb fucking idiot.
He's definitely.
But I'm never gonna be like, Mark Wahlberg is a font of
he's definitely doing something. Is it working? No, I don't think you should film like if you're like a mediocre businessman who just wants to be a businessman, maybe don't make a TV show about it because it's not like you're killing it. Like you're just Mark Wahlberg.
Think it's just like all these action stars are like, I gotta be The Rock.
Yeah,
have like
they all are trying to be like, like I'm all. That's the thing is like he always has a Sharpie in his hand because he has to sign shit all the time, either like a photo of himself or like a contract. And then he just always has AirPods on. So he's just like on calls all the time, walking around, signing shit. And you're like, okay, so, and then just like, I'm really busy. I'm like the busiest guy. I'm like crazy busy. And you're like, what? Why would you do this show?
Well, he's been trying to cultivate this image as like the man who works the most, because he had that thing about his workout routine go kind of viral. Well, that's the thing.
Recently. So at like 3 a.m, he basically everywhere he goes to like film. So he's like in London, and they outfit his hotel room as a gym. Like they bring everything, and like his hotel room's a gym. But he's like, I posted this footage on YouTube where he's like working out in this gym at 3 a.m. in his hotel room, but he's fucking full on screaming as he works out. And it's like, this is not appropriate behavior in a hotel, like a fancy hotel at 3 a.m.
They paid all the complainers.
Well, I
He's Mark
hope
Wahlberg.
there is no one below him and no one above him, because he is loud as fuck, being like pulling things down, like, and you're like, fuck you, Mark Wahlberg. What is this? What is this? And that's the show. And you're like, you're batshit for filming this. And literally, he'll be like in a meeting with his like whatever clothing company, and he'll just like, one, it's just all like cotton jumpsuits, sweatsuits, whatever. We get it, what you wear, and like Henleys for like tight
Calvin's.
Yeah, just like, like buff guy clothes. And then they'll send him a bunch of like samples, and he'll just like hate them all. And you're like, what? This sucks.
Have you seen?
Nothing is going right.
Have you ever seen Fear?
No, I don't think
where
so.
He plays a creepy boyfriend who
No.
dates Reese Witherspoon.
No, I haven't seen
He's so good in it, and it's his first big movie. It was like the first time he got cast in a movie when he was a star from the Funky Bunch, but nobody wanted to put him in a movie.
They put him in Fear.
He's so good. He's so scary, and it's a really good movie. It's not a horror movie. It's just a thriller. You should watch it.
Okay.
Because, like, I don't think I would have ever been like Mark Wahlberg would be, like, because I remember a time when he was still just a famous rapper and nobody would have said that guy's going to be a good actor.
Let alone like a huge businessman.
Let alone a huge businessman. But I was like, unlike Ashton Kutcher, like, he is at least good at like something.
I will say Ashton Kutcher, I watched the Generation Hustle WeWork episode. It's like a Generation Hustle is also on HBO Max, where it's all about like scammers. And there's a WeWork episode, and we worked out of a WeWork for a while. And so I was like, I'm basically an accomplice to this shady business because we put money in their pocket. That's right. I'm also a scammer now. And Ashton Kutcher's like all up in this fucking doc with the founder of WeWork, who turned out to be like a creepy cult leader who was like taking money from the company and screwing a bunch of people over. And he was like deifying himself. But yeah, like Ashton Kutcher's like, I believe in this company. I think everyone should invest in this company. Just being like a fucking tool in this doc, like loving this fucking asshole who fucked a bunch of people over.
It's all Enron.
Dude,
Enron's all the way down.
Stop letting celebrities who are just like dudes who like think they're cool.
It doesn't even have to be celebrities. Stop just letting dudes who think they're cool. Because that's the WeWork guy too.
Yeah. Like, he was just some intense Israeli dude who was like, I have a dream, and it's to fuck over a bunch of Americans.
And like, maybe if somebody has Sydney from Sailing Yacht energy.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, I'm perfect and everything I do is amazing. That just means their parents gave them too much praise. That just means they were spoiled.
Or they grew up in an environment where they felt they had to scam to get by. And so who they hurt didn't matter.
That's why we give Erica Jane some rope, because you're like, she's a scammer and she found another scammer.
Erica Jane.
And it's not really a scam to like get rich guys to fuck you. You're just taking advantage of a system that is bad. But
Erica
still
Jane.
On fucking Tom Girardi for taking those people's
orphans
money.
And widows. Oh. I want to say one last thing before we end. Shout out Mark Wahlberg. Come on the show, my brother, if you're ever interested. Would love to promote some of your brands that you're working on.
Yeah.
But Dorit's kids being like, your titties are out and your dress is ugly. I love that.
That's the best, is when the kids get old enough to tell their parents that they suck on these shows.
Yeah, they're like,
did you see? This isn't.
What, are you wearing a bathrobe, you dumb bitch?
Did you see the video that Kim Kardashian made where she was like, yeah, like we love Olivia Rodrigo, like me and Northie, like we listen to it all the time, and North goes, no, we don't.
Yeah, she's like, no, you dumb bitch. She's like, your ass is fake, Mom. Everyone knows that.
Like, God, I hope she brings down the whole family. I hope one of those kids
Yeah, they're like, hey, just Kylie's body is not created from like taking a walk twice a day.
I hope they just like refuse to be famous. They just like end it,
I mean, Kourtney's kids are, I don't really know, like, I do hope it ends with the Jenners.
I wonder if when Kris Jenner dies, if some of them will be like, you're free now. Like, the spell has been broken. I did an article that came out today on Bustle about Kardashian restaurants.
Oh, yeah. Go check that out.
Someone asked me to do it, and it was fun, so I did. But I was also like, wow, the Kardashians are known for having bad taste, but they actually have good taste in restaurants, and I go to a lot of them.
Like what? Give us a taste. Haha, get it? A taste.
Casa Vega in the Valley. Kardashian favorite.
Haven't been.
It's like an old Mexican-American 50s.
Don't they go there in some movie recently?
Carousel, Lebanese.
Oh.
Armenian. There's one in Hollywood and one in Glendale. And they go to the Glendale one.
Okay.
Just a bunch of places where I was like, oh yeah, that's a legit good restaurant. And I would go there. And some of the ones that always show up on Housewives because they probably have a deal. Like Marmalade, Sweet Butter.
Oh yeah, Marmalade. I was at Marmalade. I stopped by Marmalade this weekend. Was like, not today, Satan. The one in Malibu, actually. That's where I went to Malibu this weekend. You guys.
Oh, Nobu Malibu, #1 Kardashian favorite restaurant.
Definitely did not go to Nobu.
Yeah, I've never been. I'd like to go sometime.
I'm not much of a Nobu head because I don't make Nobu money.
Yeah. One day
when we sell this Twitch show for millions.
That's right. One day when NBC picks this up as payment for delaying it because of SNL stars.
Gotta love it.
Being under contract to Lorne Michaels, who also makes people work 24/7.
I personally think I'm a Mark Wahlberg of types. And yourself?
I think I'm who are the other ones? Donnie?
I don't know. Yeah, Donnie and then the other one. Donnie and then the chef one.
One of them's married to Jenny McCarthy, the anti-vaxxer.
Is that Donnie?
I think so.
You would be a Donnie. Okay. That's that.
All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Let us know what you'd like us to talk about. Find us on Twitter at these places.
Is this really loud? I can't tell because it's loud for me, but I don't know if it's like loud for listeners. But I like to play it for you guys.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, follow us. I'm at Anna Hosnier. Molly's at, what is it? There you go. At Molly Lambert. But also at Molly_Lambert.
On Instagram.
On Insty. And then, Deckheads is at Deckheads Pod on Instagram and Twitter. Keep sending us your tea. We love good tea. It's how we learn everything. Because I read everything late at night, so I miss everything that happens during the day. So please send me everything. I love it. I share it to Molly like that. I immediately send it to her. Then we chat about it. And we love it. So keep doing that. Keep coming back. Tell your friends. If there's a show you guys want us to watch that we're clearly like fucking up on, tell us. We'll watch it. Look at us. What do we have got going on?
Yeah, we love.
Got nothing going on.
I'm probably gonna try and make Anna watch Shaws of Sunset eventually. So
that triggers me.
No.
What if I become a Shaw? Actually, look, we were gonna talk about this. We forgot. I personally think I would be a great housewife.
Oh yeah, let's do that next week.
Okay.
And we'll talk about which franchise we should be on and what role we'll play.
Yeah.
And everyone prepare your answers. Think about it for the week.
What reality show would you be good on and why?
And what role would you play in the social dynamic? Are you a pot stirrer? Are you a perennial victim?
I love perennial victim.
Are you a fan favorite?
Yeah. Are you a snappy jokester?
Are you a Sydney? Are you insane?
Yeah, are you like clearly a sociopath who should be removed from the show?
Let us know.
That's fun. All right. Until next week, have a good Tuesday night. Go watch RHONY if you haven't yet. That's what we gotta do. Oh, I also have to go watch Bachelorette Australia, ladies, if you know what I mean. Woo! All right.